You can be playing with these strangers in a game, but you don't really have that connection. You don't have that bonding experience. You're trying to, relate to people, but they could be 10 years older than you or 10 years younger than you. When you're competing with your peers, you're competing with, adult supervision from someone that cares about you and is invested in your success. It creates that safe space for kids to be themselves, to experiment, take risks, have fun.
I want to get into some interesting things that have been discussed on previous podcast episodes here that has come on, but the psychological impacts of COVID on our human interaction. It's funny, we've all been kind of forced to stay in our homes. So our worlds have shrunk to the size of our, four walls, metaphorically speaking, our yard and our grocery store, right? And then, our cell phones and the people we communicate regularly with. But I've actually felt more connectivity because of Zoom and the takeoff of many platforms like it, like face-to-face interactions are up. And, the drop in the need for business travel, I don't think is impacting a lot of business relationships. If anything, people are being more effective in esports and gaming. And I think that's going to be a really, really interesting impact on the greater ecosystem. But at the high school level, talk to me about what that sense of community does for these kids, because they're locked at home, right? And that can be a difficult time growing up, not having that ability to get out and go hang out with your friends and do some of the things that you typically love. How has esports and gaming kind of filled that void for some of your fans and consumers?
Yeah, from our experience, where the kids, are stuck at home that don't even have structured educational experiences right now. A lot of schools are very behind, or they don't have the equipment or whatnot. So for the schools that have been able to participate, get a much bigger engagement with their friends. It's a little more collective, because you can play on the open internet. You can always just hop into a game. You can be playing with these strangers in a game, but you don't really have that connection. You don't have that bonding experience. You're trying to, relate to people, but they could be 10 years older than you or 10 years younger than you. When you're competing with your peers, you're competing with, adult supervision from someone that cares about you and is invested in your success. It creates that safe space for kids to be themselves, to experiment, take risks, have fun. And you notice I'm not even talking about really any gaming aspect.
Right.
It's like that's there. The kids are going to play games no matter what. You're just changing the environment and the experience around what they already love doing to make it significantly more positive for the kids to participate in, and then also give them a sense of pride too, because if they're playing on behalf of their school and they win, get the bragging rights, they get to walk around their jerseys, chin up high. Assuming when school's back in, but it's something that a lot of kids would never experience. Like with HSEL, last time we ran a survey, it was like 80% of kids never participated in any other extracurriculars. Mm-hmm. And so, that's the audience that we're pulling in, is usually kind of the kids that are not engaged, that are not participating in things, that are more likely to not perform well in school. Mm-hmm. And when they have something they're committed to and they're passionate about, well, they got to keep their grades up to stay in it. So grades go up. They want to make it to practice, so they come to class, so their attendance goes up. And they're just mentally more committed to the school, because they're now a part of the school, as opposed to being potentially seen as either an outcast or not feeling like they truly belonged to any clique, any group, or any team.